welcome back to Power Within Xiangxi Stories. Last time our crew did their downtime, got into a little bit of hijinks, got some scores, and now they are preparing to do a little bit of a kidnapping, potentially. A little bit of a kidnapping in Fort Lingshin. Going to try and kidnap a man named Iwamoto Shigeki for Banshee's contact Etsu. Etsu has asked her to kind of nab this guy and bring him back to her, hopefully alive and intact. But if not, she said he can certainly be killed. She just needs his eyes and
the sigil,
his sigil implant. So, getting into it. So we are at present in free play, and in free play, you can gather info. You can just have character scenes. You can go kind of just hit the sandbox, go and talk to people. Find more scores if you're not necessarily locked in to this score. Is just kind of the one so far that the crew has decided, but you can still kind of do as you will. But if you're wanting to go through with it, you can certainly go through and just start gathering some info on this target if you want to.
Can you spell out the person's name again? I'm sorry.
Oh, sure. I will put it in the chat.
Thank you. Because to be honest, I would definitely like to. Thank you. I go up to Dre and be like, you want to go and check it out?
Do
Let's
you
go.
want to be the good guy or the bad guy?
I say we just for the moment, let's just take a walk. That's all we need to do. Do we know specifically where Iwamoto moves about?
So that would be part of the gathering information. The basic info you know right now is that he is he's located in Fort Lingshin, but where in the fort you don't know.
Oh, okay. Lingshin.
In Fort Lingshin, within one of the Ashikaga compounds, of which there are many.
Okay. Do we know how many?
It's kind of nebulous at the moment. It's not like a set number. It's just whatever, it's just kind of, there's kind of all over the place.
Copy. We don't really know much about him, Iwamoto. I guess right now is to try and get near these near the Ashikage, around one or two of these compounds, and to kind of I guess listen in, if that makes sense.
Sure. So let me just do the tutorializing with the thing here. So when you want to know something specific about the fictional world, your character can gather information. GM asks you how your character gathers the info, or how you learned it in the past. If it's common knowledge, I just answer the question. If there's an obstacle, action roll. But if it's common knowledge but there's no obstacle, simple fortune roll. So each attempt to gather information takes time. If the situation allows, you can try again if you don't get all the info you want, but usually the opportunity is fleeting, and you only get one chance to roll for a particular question. And if you look on the at the player sheets in the player kit, there's sample questions on the playbooks. They're not the end all be all, but they're just kind of there to kind of help
Where's that
move you along. If you click on the web viewer
The gather information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I like that. I'm glad they actually put these things on here to make it easier.
They thought it through a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely did.
So the most common gather information actions are like surveying or studying a person, surveying the situation or studying a person to understand what's going on. But sometimes you'll have to maneuver yourself into position before you can gather information. So sometimes you might have to prowl to a good hiding place first, and then study to see what's going on.
No, what 100% like what the one that makes the perfect sense. How can I find X? So how can I find Iwamoto?
Okay, so in that instance, yeah, you would need to do a action roll. How is your character gathering that info? And yeah, what action are they going to use for that? For you, Andre?
Honestly, I feel as though prowl for both of us is probably the best thing. It's not like we're I guess like being like super sneaky about it, but we are being kind of intent to be around the area, but out of sight, out of mind, if that makes sense.
Sure. And I'm sorry, it didn't have to be because that was specifically Yuki's question. So Dre, did you have a question that Dre would be trying to figure out? And would he be going do it? Would he be doing something different?
Be what's really going on here, just so I can kind of not just get the information on where they're at, but get maybe some details that may have been left out of why this kidnapping is happening, and kind of connect some of the dots of the situation that other people that may be involved, and just get a full scope of what we're getting ourselves into.
Okay, so excuse me. So Yuki, you want to know how can we get to Iwamoto? He's like, how do we get to him? While Dre, you are kind of trying to figure out like what's the other angle here. So yeah, so I think for both of those, yeah, it would take an action roll to kind of get to where you need to be, to then do another action roll to get that information. So yeah, what do you roll for that first action roll?
I think, as Chemo said, I think prowl is probably good for us, as far as trying to essentially blend in and be there, but not be noticed.
So just a little bit more detail. So I'm gonna start with Yuki. So Yuki, where do you go to kind of get this information? Like where are you trying to scout out?
You know, man, alcohol, like vices loosen lips. So obviously, like the Yamakage clan has a problem with the Ashikage. So like, we know where they like to go to drink, to party, you know, for when they need those moments to just relax. And maybe that can be one of those things. Like maybe two ways this can happen. Either me and Dre like infiltrate the lounge or whatever, and we're like one of the bar people, or maybe we're one of the patrons and we're like trying to loosen their lips and give them more alcohol. But at the same, it's kind of like the disguising ourselves in a way with our prowling, or just being in the vicinity while they're talking about their woes on the job. But I like the idea to where we go to one of these like vice dens that these cats go to just like unwind about work and all that BS and so on and so forth.
Do you pursue them like on the outskirts of the fort, like at the border of Zhejiang and Fort Lingshan, or do you actually go into the fort to do that?
I would say initially we would start on the outside and work our way. If we don't get kind of the information that we need to there, we would have to probably be a bit more daring and go inside.
Okay. Yeah, so you go into,
because we don't have necessarily a time limit for this nab, right?
I think there was a There
Yeah.
was, but it was pretty generous, I think.
Within a
yeah,
month.
yeah, man. Start simple. Get enough information on the outside. If we need to get a little bit deeper in, we'll get a little bit deeper in.
Okay. So yeah, you know that a common in kind of like right near one of the checkpoints into the fort, this place called the Eager Geese Inn, and the Eager Geese Tavern. I'm sorry. And that's where like a lot of the 9-to-5ers, they'll go there after work. They kind of get out of the fort for a little while. A lot of the Ashikaga employees, a lot of them are just kind of like low-level workers. The kind of the blue collar, like actual like engineers, mechanics, stuff like that. A lot of the high-level guys don't really leave the fort, but your kind of workaday blue collar dudes will go out here and they'll come and drink. But every now and again you'll get a high-level guy that'll come and try to slum it up a little bit.
That's what you want, man. You want the help. The help always gets the information.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Yuki, go ahead and roll that prowl, and this kind of determines the quality of info that you get, or at least this determines how, I guess, because you're trying to get into a good spot to then get
pretty much. Yeah.
So this kind of determines how open the people there are to you when you are kind of like trying to ingratiate yourself with them.
Okay. All right. Is this controlled? Is this risky? Is it desperate? Because like for flavor wise, go in, get a drink, talk it up, make them laugh a little bit, and then just.
I would say it was risky. I think it's risky because you are potentially exposing yourself a little bit.
Okay. For are we still doing standard effect, or how are you?
Standard. Yeah, standard.
Standard. Okay.
Yeah, risky standard.
And this wouldn't be a team thing with me and Dre, or is it just based off my role?
No, because that's only really during scores.
Cool.
Okay, so partial success. So yeah, like they are a little wary of you. You're kind of a new face. They've never seen you before, and you're kind of chatting them up, and they're getting a little drunk, but they're still kind of it's very cliquish.
Yeah.
So you're kind of this new guy popping up. They're kind of just chatting shit. They're like, yeah, getting bosses riding my ass again, trying to get these work orders done, but they don't know how to get this shit done. They keep ordering more bullshit. They don't know how hard it is to get this stuff done. So they're just kind of just generally complaining, but no names are coming up or anything like that. But they are at least open to any kind of question. So like that you could initially ask. So what action do you use to kind of pry into whatever you're to finding out where Yuamoto is?
I want to say like, oh man, I want to say it's like verbal judo, so I want to finesse this as best as possible. That's what I want to do. I wish I could say that. Because in my mind, the word makes sense, but the action probably doesn't. I'm pretty sure it has to be like sway or consort.
Yeah, I think Travis put the definitions for them in the
100%. I get it.
I mean, looking at the description, so you can finesse an item from someone's pocket, employ subtle misdirection or sleight of hand, handle a vehicle or a mount. I mean, you could make the argument that you are misdirecting them into revealing information.
No, I definitely like that idea. Like misdirection would make the most sense for me. And also kind of like I've seen it in the K dramas where they keep pouring him drinks and then giving it to him, keep pouring him drinks and keep. It's gonna be. I feel like it's the same situation that Yuki's doing.
So he's lubing them up,
I'm lubing him up.
Getting them all liquored up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's pretty much like a scammer, right? They say
Yeah.
they finesse you.
And that.
Yeah. I think that's totally fair.
That's what I'm going with.
Okay. So he's getting them liquored up, trying to get them to spill the beans.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
And then roll again. Same thing. Risky standard.
Yeah.
Copy.
No.
Can I? What is it? Oh.
Where's my hero point?
No.
Can I hero point that?
No. I would have to have something else. Never mind.
Yeah, and during gather information,
Yeah.
it's like this. Like in this instance, it would just be a lost opportunity.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Maybe they get too sloshed, which ruins my whole opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Like they like you kind of keep kind of like pushing a little bit, kind of trying to get into to talk about this Iwamoto guy, and they do mention him, and they say like, Iwamoto, he's kind of an asshole. He's he's a quiet dude, but he just thinks he's better than everyone else. Like they don't give you a lot of useful information.
Do they have any? I guess even with that information, it's kind of useful. Do they have like name tags or specifically? Actually, F that. They give me enough information to where they've seen them and potentially talked to him because they said he's kind of a nice dude or whatever.
They said he was kind of a quiet dude.
Kind of a quiet dude. I'm sorry. Kind of a quiet dude. What if we followed this particular group back to wherever they work?
Yeah, that's a potential thing you could do.
Because at least I got them to talk about this guy, so it's all like, oh, he's been around. So now, if I can find out which particular compound these guys go to, I can narrow it down within like our time frame of the month, basically.
Yeah. So there are like checkpoints getting into the fort, and then even further beyond. That would potentially make that difficult.
That's what I want.
So no, sure. And I'm just trying to figure out how to resolve this, because that is almost a score in itself.
Sorry.
I mean, what we can say is, well, I guess that wouldn't work actually.
Can I do something real quick that's kind of lore wise would be kind of cool to add in Moon?
Sure. Yeah.
So I guess like after getting them like super sloshed, and then it's like, all right guys, let's get you home, blah blah blah, and then like take a piece of their hair while I get them to wherever they want.
Ooh.
And then bring it to Yoon and be like, use this to track them.
That's a totally valid thing to try out. But before we get to that, Dre, I want to resolve your question. So you were trying to kind of get the other angle on this, like what else is going on here? What's really going on? So how do you go about that?
So essentially, I'm going in right there with Yuki. Similar situation. But I'm doing less talking and just more peeping the scene, being observant, trying to see who is the talker of like the group and studying that person and more or less focusing in to see if I can gather direct information instead of just listening to the full group. Like, okay, this guy seems to know a little bit more. Maybe he is a guard. Maybe he is a higher up in the hierarchy.
Okay, so you're trying to find someone who's like actually knowledgeable, like not just kind of just chatting shit, but someone who like actually knows what's going on, or at least like within the general area has the most knowledge. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need to do anything to like get in position for that. I think you can kind of just, I think you said study was what you're trying to do, or you were going to do another thing.
Yeah, we can go with study.
Yeah, I mean, it is up to you. It is up to you in terms of like what action you're wanting to use. You don't have to use study.
Are you still gonna make stone?
No, we can use study. I haven't used it yet. It's one of the skills I do have. So.
Okay,
Right
so
on.
you are studying one of these guys to kind of see who's got the most seemingly intel on them.
Right.
Yeah, let's go ahead. See what you got. Risky standard.
Is that okay?
Actually, I would say that's controlled because you are not really exposing yourself at the moment. You're just kind of listening in. I think that'd be controlled standard. Partial success. Okay. Yeah, you kind of latch onto a guy, and it's not the same. It's like a group nearby to where like maybe you and Yuki were talking to or like observing different guys. And there's a couple of other guys kind of sitting off to the side, maybe at the bar, and they're kind of like talking in low whispers, you know, and they're kind of discussing like really technical stuff, and talking about compound A, not gonna really be feasible to get this part there. We need to order more stuff. Ashikaga's being real stubborn about it, so they're kind of talking in more technical terms, and they're bringing up maybe several different names, and then you do hear like, oh yeah, we got to get Iwamoto to sign off on this work order as well. And so then they just kind of keep talking, but they have not mentioned like specific information that you would be looking for yet, though. But you do know that they are at least connected to Iwamoto.
I guess I would like once I hear them and kind of figure out like they may know a little bit more than some of the others.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to like get up on them to get a better look, better visual, and see if I can see like any key cards or anything in particular that would give away a particular compound or what place they're actually connected to within the whole infrastructure.
Okay. Yeah, without raising suspicion, I think that would take an action roll. So, what is he going to use for that?
Probably prowl. I think that's the more sneaky than finesse is. So
that's fair. Yeah, I think that's a pretty risky move, but you would get standard effect off of that for sure.
Two twos. Rough.
Oh man, rough. So yeah, you kind of try to get an angle on them, try to see like if there's any identifying information. It does not look like they're actually even wearing anything. They don't really notice you looking at them. They're kind of just embroiled in their own conversation, but you just don't see anything that would be helpful off of them. And as you're kind of looking in the general area, you see like it doesn't really seem like anyone wears their badges outside of the fort as well.
From that point, I would probably kind of just rendezvous with Yuki,
Mm-hmm.
and essentially point out people of interest that I think they are. They seem to have a higher level of information than everyone else. Nothing in particular that would help us with ours, but they may be able to lead us to other people that up the chain, and we can eventually possibly find out some information on.
That is perfect, B. While carrying these drunkards out and then sliding them on the side of the building, snatching one of their hairs and like, Do not worry. Moon will help us. And then go back to the hideout.
Yeah. So Yuna, what is Yuna usually up to when she's at the hideout?
Yuna is that weird goth girl that like you never quite like. Are you killing chickens in there? Like you always kind of look a little lost. What are you doing? So when
Just constantly asking, "Are you okay?"
right, like, you sure we can't like go in your room and check, make sure you don't have a biohazard in there or something? Like, no, you cannot. Don't come in here. In fact, Chemo's question of what the rest of y'all doing to gather info, she probably wouldn't. Her mind was still on like her own encounter with the whole fact that she could become an initiate and all this, and it's kind of like, cool, like y'all want to do this other thing first, and that's fine, but let me know when we gotta go somewhere. I'm still just focused on my other thing. So yeah, she is definitely that goth girl that you kind of like. Are you just watching Gilmore Girls and you don't want people to know, or are you like cursing people in there?
So she's just at the moment, she's just hanging out in her room.
For the most part, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Yuki, you guys return back to the hideout. What do you guys do?
Knock on Moon's door. Moon, I have a request for you, please.
Yes.
We have acquired some information, and he produces the hair. Is there a possibility that you could potentially track someone with this?
And you have a single hair?
Nah, I probably ripped out quite a patch. They were drunk enough.
She would take the patches, the hairs, and start inspecting to see if there's actually like root on these hairs, and assuming that you pulled it out at the root, we may have potential. What is this in relation to?
I thought you knew that we were about to go on another particular hunt against
right.
Yes.
The kidnapping guy.
Yes. Hi. Shigeki is these particular men knew of him. They said they met him. I'm hoping that we can track them down using your particular set of skills. Yeah,
He looks at the hairs again. One moment. She would literally go in her room, close the door, go gather her things to do her prostinations, and then come back out with a bowl and a map and some things. Eye of newt, tongue of dog, whatever it is in that lovely little poem. We would
probably some gator scales.
Right, just whatever. And presumably in my head, our hideout has like but a table that we can all sit at. And she would get her little bowl and throw in the hairs and do the mixins and the things and try to make a concoction that when we dip this crystal in it and hold it over the map, it'll dunk and pull it down where these guys go.
Okay. I love it. Yeah, what action are you using? I'm assuming a tune.
I would use a tune. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
How would we roll it?
So this would be controlled, and I would say because it was because you had the good setup from Yuki on that one. I'd say this would be for great effect.
Let's freaking go, team. Let's freaking go, team.
You do it. Yeah. So, you go through this whole rigmarole. She does her casting, puts the crystal over the map, and you see it. It actually ends up moving. It moves to like that edge of the fort on the map where you left the guys, and then it just kind of slowly crawls across like the northern section of the fort before finally stopping like kind of in the like northeast section of it. and it just hangs there.
Would it be possible for me to essentially use finesse to sketch this out and mark it down like on a map type thing of our own creation, just so we know exactly where
You don't have to roll. You don't have to roll anything for that. That's just something you'd be able to do.
Didn't Moon just pull out a map, or are you talking about like a more focused version of the area?
Right, exactly. A more
Okay.
version, so
Cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Like,
Yeah, you'd be
Like,
able to.
details of-
You'd be able to just jot that down for sure. You wouldn't have to roll anything for that. Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. Your guys will be able to notate where they saw the crystal at. So yeah, you have a pretty approximate within like a block of where these guys are at for sure. You would of course have to get like more specific info. You'd have to be physically there. But you certainly know like that's where these guys went at least.
Moon, wonderful job. And he does like a quick, like curt bow. We have good information. Where's Banshee? Where is Little J?
Little J is gone.
And right in that moment,
Fucking
Kyle
outta here.
bounces on me. Jeez,
Great timing.
just trying to get you in, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, Banshee,
Hello.
I feel like I would want to like come and tell you the information that we've just.
Yeah, I would assume that
acquired.
Banshee's like. I would assume the team's like, hey, the two sneaky bros are gonna go try to get information. Everyone else stay here and wait till they bring back information. So I'm assuming Banshee's is at the hideout chilling.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's where she is.
Yeah, like probably same thing. Knock on your door. Banshee, come downstairs, please.
What do you got?
Kyle's back.
We currently acquired some information. We may have found where Iwamoto may be. Moon has attuned with the magics and found a particular Ashikage compound for us.
Sick. Does this magic that is pointing us towards? You said it's to the guy?
Yes.
well, we don't know exactly, but we believe.
D, could you ping where you said like it hit?
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's like,
Well, this isn't actually specifically to the guy, though, right? It's to the guys that you drank with, not to the guy.
Yeah, no. Yeah, this is the one of the Ashikage compounds that we heard this information from. So that's the information that Yuki would give you with this.
Sure.
So we have a lead, basically.
Now, are we going to, did we map this out, or are we taking some sort of mobile tracker from Una?
We mapped it out. Where the
We have mapped
Ashikage
it out.
compound.
But we will still need to find a way to gain access, as they do have different
Checkpoints.
setup, checkpoints and forts that we would have to clear to get through there.
and that's common knowledge. You guys would be very aware of that.
Right.
I guess on that map where we know where it is, which you said was like over here in this area, how many checkpoints from where we are to that particular point would we have to deal with?
You know what? You would have to deal with at least two.
At least
You'd
two.
have to get into the fort and to get onto the compound for sure.
And then would we know enough information, or could we take time to gather information to see, particularly are these men and women who guard the first, maybe like the first two checkpoints, are they like diehard Ashikage, or can we grease some palms?
These you would know because this is black cap territory, so the guards would be all black caps.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, there are definitely greasy palms within the Black Hat Force for sure. You know,
Maybe we could do a favor for a favor to get through these checkpoints.
it is certainly could be a part of your detail when you jump into the score.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Like, it's just an idea. But
Is it so? Is that all the info that y'all want to gather? You can still do more. Lil J, a Banshee. Were there anything that you guys wanted to maybe try and get figured out?
I mean, potentially, either me or Lil J. I think we're both decent at hunting. Actually, hunting out the guy outside of the compound.
Yeah, you would have to. I think for that, getting into position. So this would be. It would take two to get into two action rolls. I mean, one to kind of get into position to be able to scout out, and then another to actually like find him and study him.
yeah, because we have a heading, at least.
Right.
So that could, would that potentially help their effect? I guess.
Not really. I think it would be like if you hadn't done that, I think it would be very limited. If you were going there, so this actually would put it to like standard.
Okay, so it was useful. Okay.
Very much so. Very much so.
I guess then could I do something to where I'm trying to consort with people, like-minded individuals as myself, cyber bros, to get into like a den nearby that potentially then I could gather information in that location about the individual?
Yeah. So you're trying to kind of go to like friendly territory and get any info you can.
Yeah, to
about
like
the guy.
other, cyber enthusiasts that I won't stick out at, It's like, oh, it's not that crazy that she's there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you go to, let's see. Yeah, I'd say there's probably like several. Like, does she go to like a like one of these like dive bars? Let's say. Is it in Zhuyang, kind of where she would go?
Yeah, I like South Zhuyang for sure. So it's sort of like within proximity to where this individual could potentially frequent, or folks would know about him.
Totally. Yeah, I think that you go to a place called the Fallen Angel Bar. Yeah, it's like kind of like southeast Zhuyang. Again, like they're pretty near the fort. And yeah, there's a lot of cyber weirdos hanging out. A lot of folks that are like Chrome enthusiasts for sure. Some folks that aren't even really like, they're not really even scoundrels or whatever. They just they just like getting Chrome.
Totally.
And so you're kind of just like trying to get info out of folks there that may know this guy. So you said you were going to use consort for that?
Yeah, I'm trying to consort to get with essentially the people like me, and then once I've kind of infiltrated to where they're not put off by my presence, then try to use like hunt to more like track down this person.
Okay, so kind of a two-parter. So I think like you can consort, and that just gives you the info you need to be able to hunt them down. I think that's fair. Go ahead and roll that. So that would be I'd say controlled standard for the consort.
Okay. Nope.
Yeah, ouchie. Yeah, so I will say actually you do kind of get you don't get really any more info than you did from Yuna. You get a little bit more specific, like in terms of like block radius. So like you're not going to be basically where to look But as far as what Iwamoto looks like or his patterns, that's a wash.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. Could I potentially find some Ashikaga workers or someone who I think is affiliated at the bar and potentially try to intimidate, i.e. command like some info out of them?
Yeah, I think that's totally a. So that I think that would change that certainly to a risky
Sure.
move.
Yeah.
But I think that would still be standard.
Okay.
Okay. And please remind me, like what is Banshee trying to get out of the guy?
So in my mind, Banshee is finding an Ashikaga affiliate and is potentially either trying to get a description of this person, most likely basically a description, something that she can go off of to then like hunt for him.
Okay. Yeah. So you get you actually ended up catching another techie, and they're actually pretty rare. This guy was kind of slumming it basically. You know, he's a nerd who likes Chrome, but he's too scared to get it himself. And so you jam this guy up. He's like, Iwamoto, yeah. I know Iwamoto. Yeah, he's kind of tall. Short black hair. He wears glasses, really thick glasses. He's kind of like mid-level guy. It's kind of hard to get to him. I don't know if he really leaves the compound a lot. That's all I know. I promise. I swear.
All right, just take a breath. I'm not gonna judge you. Just, relax. It's okay. Interesting. You said you like Crawl, right?
Yeah. I've been looking at the new. I see you have some of the old tech there. It looks really good. It's new.
This is very well taken care of. Okay. We're not all Ashikaga bums like yourself.
I mean, I'm a fan of retro gear. I think honestly, some of the Ashikaga stuff, shit in comparison.
Oh, for sure.
He just starts nerding out if you don't stop him.
Dude, they don't make it like they used to, for sure. You just can't get quality these days.
Vintage.
The health. I like you, friend. I don't know if you told me your name, but
it's Maki, my name.
Well, Maki, I'm sure you understand this conversation never happened, and that's what's best for both of us.
Yeah. I never saw you.
Maki, I promise you, I will not come hunt you down unless you rat me out.
My lips sealed.
Perfect.
Promise you.
Well, it's been great meeting you. I hope to see you here again. We could talk Chrome another time.
I would love it. That'd be awesome.
Hey man, have a good one.
I will flip him like a coin, whatever like a beer's worth, just like, here man, I appreciate it. I'm not gonna fuck you up, okay? I just needed you don't care about this guy, right? That's basically, I'm like, you don't care, like, just we're fine.
Totally.
I don't want him to go back to the fort and never come back out. Like, no, I want this guy to still come out and be like, no, that was okay.
I think
it got kind of scary.
I think the danger here with this guy is he's too friendly.
Sure.
So he may have a motor mouth. That's the danger with him.
That's fine.
But that's only if a complication occurs during the actual score. Not a malicious individual, but he's just he thought he met a cool scoundrel. Had a fun encounter out in.
He's
out
got
in
a story to tell someone now.
Yeah, exactly.
Sick.
And so with that you are able to so you would have to
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't come out of the compound, I can't really hunt for him. You know.
Yeah, that would be very, because again, that's just basically the score getting into
Right.
the compound.
Yep.
But yeah, you've gotten the info at least that he does not really leave the compound, so you don't have to like go searching the fort for him though, or
Yep.
anything like that. But yeah, where in the compound is of course a mystery and may be something you just have to figure out during the score. Again, maybe even using flashbacks.
Sure.
So Lil J is back. Lil J, did you want to do anything? Try to gather any info?
Last I heard, Travis was talking about going and scouting. Is that still something?
So he hemmed up someone at the bar, got a little more info. You guys know now that Iwamoto doesn't really leave the compound, but that is sort of the extent of the info that you have gathered thus far.
Well, then probably not for right now. I don't have anything.
Nothing else?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So yeah, if you guys don't have anything else, I think we can, jump into the score. So, what plan are you going to go with? Are you going to try to assault? Going to try to deceive, stealth, occult, a social or transport score?
It's either deceive or transport, right? In my mind. Or I guess stealth. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's up to y'all. However you want to engage with it.
Where does the
That's how I see it.
Could we would it be possible to kind of just like, because we got like a month, right? So in my mind, I would say like we all do a few rounds, a few checkouts to see what their schedules are like as far as when they're moving, who's moving, not just like at the bar, but like on their day-to-day, on the interests that we can see who the guards are, kind of just like do a full-on scope, so that way we have a better idea and plan on what we're doing when we're going in. Maybe take a week or two of just checking out and making sure we cross all our T's and dot our I's, and then try to go into this with
boring
info.
Bro, who wants to do all that? Listen, you could literally just be like, yo, back in the day I did that, flashback, boom.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that we got to do a whole bunch of shit for it. I'm just saying, since we got the time, I mean, that could take 2 minutes in real life where we spent 2 weeks in game.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. If your crew would want to scope out guard patrols or
I agree with CJ on scoping out guard patrols and stuff like that.
Yeah, it could definitely give you advantage in the engagement role for sure. So who would be doing like the brunt of that recon on scoping out these guard patrols?
You said it was they were black caps, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'd probably do some scouting just to figure out, at what time frame would there be somebody that I would have known from the past when I was there, to be a guard that I could be like, hey, I need to do something over there. Can you just let me through? That deal.
That's a good go. What action would Lil J use for that?
I mean, probably just to keep look out for it. I'd probably do like a survey. like sit up on top of the building where no one can see me and just kind of scout down where the guards are switching in and out?
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's still a little risky. Kind of like being, even though you're trying to stay out of the way, there's still the potential that they see what you're doing, and call you out. But that would be for standard effect for sure.
Let's go, big dog.
Failure. So, excuse me. So, yeah, you're not able to kind of see anyone that you recognize, or you do see people that you know would not be helpful to you in several situations. And you also notice that something that from your sort of background and how the guard patrols usually work, or the number of guards, you notice that there is an increase in guards, especially an abnormal increase in guards, kind of over, let's say, like over the course of a week. You're kind of scouting out, and you see that the guard patrols definitely increased over this last week.
And that's just for 1 week.
They have not stopped, even as you are continuing to observe. So going into the next week, it seems like that has been the pattern has been an increased patrol, and it does not seem to be abating.
I would obviously, be writing this stuff down, relaying it back to everybody, letting them know, like, hey, these are the times they're changing. This is how many are leaving. This is how many are coming. This is what the total count of head I've gotten so far. And then, however many there actually are total within,
Sure.
that 2 weeks, if there are any different faces I see or anything like that. Probably be, when, like, not just the guards, but like when the higher ups start coming in and stuff like that, probably relay like, hey, these are the times, these guys go in, this is the time they're coming out. The guy we're looking for did not see him once come out unless he was in disguise or something.
Yeah, you're able to kind of just get very basic, excuse me, just kind of like very basic times and locations. But if there are any sort of like, and that was really just at the first checkpoint. If there were anything past that, you were not able to kind of glean any information.
There will probably be more guards at the second checkpoint if there's this many at the first. Jeez.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I would say and that is sort of like the opportunity for learning the guard patrols effectively.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With telling people that information, maybe some of them want to deceive some guards, when they go to the bar, like, hey, this is what time they're going to be at the bar, or wherever they've been hanging out, where Yuki's got the information from, like, let her know, like, hey, there's sometimes they're going over here. Maybe you can kind of befriend them within, like a 2-week thing, maybe.
I think that would have required a partial success at least. With this, like the opportunity to kind of get more information about their patrols is lost. Is kind of the consequence there.
Great, my one roll. Waited 3 weeks and I get one roll for failure.
So if there is any, and so yeah, I would say that sort of takes that surveying takes the better part of a week, maybe even a week and a half. And so, do you guys attempt the score? And again, like, you can abandon. You can say, like, actually, no, we don't want to do that. That seems like it's too much, too risky. You do not have to go through with the score. You can choose to say no.
I kind of want to go through with it.
Sure. So if y'all are ready, yeah, what plan and what is the detail?
I think
to be
assault is
honest,
out of the question.
yeah, that doesn't make sense.
That one seems illogical.
Which one? I'm sorry.
Assault.
Oh, oh no, you guys don't want to charge the gate.
Assaulting the compound seems like a bad idea. All the other ones, I think, could be interesting and potentially make sense. Assault does not make any sense to me.
I got a question.
Mhm.
And we might not like this, but could we potentially gather information about this man? Does he have family on the outside? Because if we can, because then this could change it from a stealth op to a deception op to kind of like lure him.
I think that would have.
get into it.
I think that would have fallen under sort of those previous roles.
Okay.
When you're trying to like gather info about him.
Gotcha.
I think that would have come up within that those action roles.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's either to me stealth or occult.
No, engage a supernatural power.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting way to go about it. I have no idea what you guys would do for this.
I'm like, I don't.
I'd be interested to see what that is.
So cool.
The demon.
Well, no, in my mind, it'd be kind of cool that we already have the hair of this particular guy, right?
Well, it's not the guy though. It's the.
No, that's not. I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's not what he
So we
said,
know-
bro.
So what I'm saying is that we have this particular guy, and we use him as a waypoint. So if he goes to one of the Ashikage compound, we use your occult abilities to, and potentially mine, to teleport to his shadow, and then we go from there. That's just cool in my mind. It sounds cool.
I mean, it
very
does
cool.
sound very cool.
I like
So-
that.
I thought you were gonna have her possess him or something. I was like,
No.
that's
Yeah,
dirty.
I thought it was gonna be like a familiar,
Thank
see
you.
through the eyes type of.
Yeah, I
thing.
wasn't
Yeah.
expecting teleport us to the dude. Oh, that's very fun.
I want cool stuff. So like teleporting to this man's shadow, and then from there, like all hell can break loose. Or we can actually do it really well to where we like teleport and sneak in somewhere before anybody notices. I think that to me sounds cool. But again, it's up to the
that
group.
sounds really cool.
I mean, establishing the precedent that all you need is some hair to then teleport to that person.
I mean, maybe it works,
Shadow.
maybe it doesn't. Who? I mean, a lot of
That's
it's going to depend on the engagement
crazy,
role.
bro.
Oh, Austin.
I mean, I like the detail. Like a cult, and your detail is we are using his hair. You try to teleport to at least this specific dude, who, and then use his teleport to his shadow or in the vicinity of his shadow. Hopefully, he's in the compound at the time, and then from there go and try to find Shigeki.
I think we could at least establish that he's in the compound by doing what Moon did earlier. Like seeing that he's there, and then that's when we hit the go button, you know?
I'm about to teleport on this man. There can be 6 people in a toilet.
Hey, it don't
Yeah,
matter.
I think it's. I mean, it
think
is
the
very
thing-
interesting
I
and
think it's
cool. It is 100% cool. I don't know
what?
if Banshee
I
would
feel
be
like-
down.
With everything that we just said, I feel like we chose assault.
It kind of is. It's like assault via mystical teleportation.
I mean, you're
Oh,
gambling.
yeah, occult.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume the gamble is that you are teleporting to a place that is at least out of the way enough, hopefully at the moment, to be able to stealth in.
Yeah.
If not, then it becomes an assault.
Yeah.
But oh, is it daring?
It's hella
you can't say
daring.
it isn't. You can't say
I
it's
mean,
not.
incredibly
That's a hell
daring.
of a plan.
Is
That's a hell of a plan.
would
Can I
we
just say-
have? Would we
Can I
have?
just say,
Go ahead.
I put down obstacles for each score, right? Stuff
Uh-huh.
that that is in the way for y'all to do, and I try to visualize what y'all might do.
This ain't
Pointing
it,
to a
bro.
Dude with this fucking hair was
Say less, bro.
nowhere,
Not on the bingo card?
nowhere on the bingo card, man.
Oh, dang it.
With that being said, I got a question.
Hero
If we
point?
succeed at this teleport, do we get the XP of beating those obstacles?
I mean,
you're gonna get XP anyway, right? Yeah.
Like you would get XP for, I guess how you
guess
get
it'd
something.
just be for the score, right?
I mean, like the crew would definitely that would definitely be like a crew XP for sure, because I think that's insanely daring to do that.
I just want to say this out loud. You're welcome.
Do we understand the compounds? Like if we're in the compound, do we know how quickly we could get fucking? Like, is there guards everywhere? Are there guards at the checkpoints that we could kind of move around? Like, is there a possibility that we could teleport in, be spotted, and have a chance to run and hide or run and escape? Or is it like we're spotted and we're fucked? You know what I'm saying? Like, do we have any knowledge of the compound and how its workings?
I would say that's going to depend pretty much on engagement role and your guys' roles. Like that's
so it's sort of up in the air.
Basically,
like
right now it's just kind of
we could mechanically get ourselves out of this situation as much as any other desperate situation.
Correct.
Okay. Then I'm fine doing it. If there's a potential chance of us getting out, and it's not just like, you know,
you get in
roll it a die, you're completely fucked, then like, sure. If we actually have the same chances we do in any other situation, I don't care.
To go along with this, and this could be stretching or whatever, right? So, have y'all watched Dungeons and Dragons, the Dungeon Dudes cast at all?
I have not.
Teleportation circles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not the current
stuff. What my thought process is, like, so they have a mage academy type thing, and they have across the world or across the country different teleportation circles that you have to be attuned to in order to teleport.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be possible for us to have one in our hideout? So essentially, once we locate this guy, we can just
I was already trying to figure out how I was gonna
back out to the hideout and secure the kidnapping without having to.
I mean, I think that's cool, but like that 100% sounds like a upgrade to me.
An upgrade or an asset.
Yeah, like it sounds way too valuable to just have for free.
Like I think if you're gonna do that for like you could do like a temporary one by acquiring an asset. But like a permanent one would definitely be like an upgrade for sure.
Could we?
It still sounds cool for us to acquire an asset.
Bro, yeah, all these things are cool. Like this sounds like fucking cheat codes. All right, we got Hobie's fucking shadow hair. We're gonna TP in. We're gonna go grab him by the shoulder, TP out.
Yep.
No, I get
done.
It all depends on the rolls.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like if the dice are happy, if the dice are cool with you, it could be that easy. Or it could go horrifically wrong.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Let's find out, baby.
I
vote for a cult. I think that to me that sounds fun and cool.
A cult teleport into the worker with his hair. How's everyone else feeling about that? Yay or nay?
I mean, I'm good with it. We get fucked up, but whatever.
So what's the final ruling on trying to leave a way to get back the portal back to our house?
So what you can do is, I think, so I would say it would be either acquire an asset or during the score, you use a flashback to have that there.
I think using a flashback would be cool so we can learn the mechanic.
And that would be,
I have some temporary ideas, but Maggie doesn't know how the flashback thing works, but I've got ideas for what Yuna could do to try and
this may be the run that we deal with flashbacks for sure. So let's get into the engagement roll then. So we start with 1D for Scoundrel's Luck.
D, I'm gonna go with loadout 5 again, just so you know.
Okay. Oh yeah. Loadouts. What is everyone doing?
Remind me again what the different, like, what happens by choosing a loadout?
You get the extra slots, but you are more like what you call it, more like observable. I can't think of the word. Like
You
you're
get more
obvious.
heat?
Yeah, you're like you're it's like if you're trying to be like stealthy, a heavy loadout's gonna affect you. Like you're very obviously loaded up for something. So I forget it does there is a like specific wording for it. I'm sorry, I forget.
No, you're good. Yeah, I can't
but
fucking remember it either.
It makes you more susceptible, basically, to being spotted.
You're more conspicuous in the
yeah
score, I guess.
Like heavy armor, they can hear you.
Yeah, effectively. It's just like if you go in with a heavy load, you are basically loaded up for a fight, and it's just very obvious that you are. If you're trying to be conspicuous, it's not what you want to do.
Page 57.
Yeah, because it says like normal, you look like a scoundrel ready for trouble. 6 load, you're heavy, so you're slower. You look like an operative on a mission. 7 through 9, you're encumbered. You're overburdened, and you can't do anything except move very slowly. So, review your personal items, standard items, and stuff. So, that's all it really says for loadout.
Says it also determines your movement speed and conspicuousness.
Yeah, so that could affect maybe just like you said, if we're trying to prowl and sneak in, it could affect that, so it'll make it a harder situation.
It almost seems like kind of like harm, where it's like when it's fictionally relevant, like if you're trying to run away from something, you being heavy is gonna make that.
Yeah.
No,
and I like that too. Yeah, I like that too. So
I feel like I would probably go light load, to be honest. Okay. To where it's like we're kind of TPing in Banshee's mind. It's like if we could thank our lucky stars, get to where this dude's isolated, knock him out, and then like blend into the compound and kind of search from there. That would be the ideal situation versus like going in and looking, because we don't like, well, maybe we do, maybe we can fucking grab some Ashikaga gear. I'm assuming it's not easy to get, but like we're not gonna look like Ashikaga guards. So like if we looked fucking strapped, it's like, well, who the fuck are y'all on base, not Ashikaga guards and strapped up.
right
That's my thinking. So I would go light.
Okay. Banshee's going light. Lil J?
Light.
Light? Yuki, you were going normal? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Dre?
Light as always.
Light. And Miss Yuna?
Light.
Alrighty. Everyone is light, except for Yuki. He's going in with normal. So engagement roll, starting off with 1 dice. Scoundrel's luck. Let's look at your advantages. Operation is particularly bold or daring. Yes. Insanely daring. Plans detailed, exposes a vulnerability of the target, hits them where they're weakest. Kind of.
Yeah. It's in their stuff.
I mean, you're teleporting potentially into the heart of a compound on top of a dude. I think that's fair. Friends or contacts provide aid or insight. You guys. I don't know if you would call him a friend. But the
my guy's a friend. My crumb bro.
Banshee's
Maki.
New friend.
Maki's a friend. He wants to be anyway.
He wants
also,
to be. Yeah, for
D,
sure.
for my loadout for my cyber shit, I'm gonna go my legs for prowl and then choosing running hot.
Okay, so +1 heat for the score. Gotcha. Target is a lower tier. No, they are significantly higher. District modifiers.
So that would put us as a +3 dice.
This puts you at +4 right now.
Well, if they're higher, doesn't that take away a dice?
It does, but I haven't gotten to the disadvantages yet. I'm moving through the district modifiers. Okay. This is your hunting ground, so you get +1 for that.
Let's go.
For the gather info you did on there. Operation is overly complex or contingent on many factors. It kind of is.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Because
if we show up in the barracks, like, we'll probably get stomped.
And teleporting, you're gonna have to go through the ghost field, which is fraught with peril on its own. So that could potentially be an issue. Target is strong against this approach. They have particular defenses or preparations. They do.
What? No.
Yeah, I mean, it is in the middle of their compound, and they have increased guard patrols right now. So they are.
But do they have increased shadow teleportation guards patrols?
No.
They potentially do.
Ouch.
Enemies,
I would say if it's possible, then someone's probably already done it, and then there's probably a defense mechanism against it. Would be my we're not the first, level 1 scoundrels aren't the first ones to ever do this. There's no way.
So enemies or rivals interfering in this operation, yes. Target is a higher tier. They are. And district modifiers, nothing else. So you have a +1.
What the fudge?
It's Blaze, baby.
Why do we even go through it?
I mean, that basically gives y'all a bonus instead of rolling twice and taking the worst. So that was a lot of work. Again, you guys are going against a tier 5 organization. Now, we didn't really get into tiers or how that really operates. Like Ashikaga itself as an organization is tier 5, but that doesn't necessarily mean that where you're striking is a tier 5 facility. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely get it.
So
it's their reach. Their tier 5, their reach is pretty big.
Yeah, their reach, their power, their influence, all of that their resources. But people and facilities don't necessarily always equal that.
Definitely.
All right, so we are rolling. And let's see, 1 to 3 is a bad result, 4 to 5 mixed, 6 good, and we can't crit because we only have 1 dice. So here we go.
We can't change it either. Oh, never mind. I was gonna.
A bad result.
Is that +1 for equal 1, or is that 1d6 for 1?
Say that again.
I'm just confused because it says +1 above the 1, so is that just +1ing to equal 1, or is that actual a d6 roll?
It's just a actually let me make sure that is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is rolling.
Oh wow.
Actually, is it? No, it's not.
No, I don't think it is.
You are totally correct. And you know what? I will use Yuki's roll there because it actually rolled a d6. And so that is a mixed result. So you're in a risky position when the action starts.
Better than a 1, boss.
Better than a 1 because you were going to be in the ghost field.
Yeah. No, thank you. And we're fine with mixed results, man. We're cool with that.
Yeah,
can make it work.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys. Let me get this up here. So, Yuna, I'm assuming Yuna's the one that's teleporting you guys, right? Yuna, what does that look like?
So, I'm envisioning our crew around our table at our hideout. And I still have this mess that I made to do the initial casting. Lucky for y'all that I'm not a clean freak and have let this sit for however long it's been chilling. So now we've got this hair and eye of newt, tongue of dog lovely mash that's been just ruminating and getting stronger. And so the connection is still there. What I'm gonna do for everybody, as we're standing around this table, we are going to take the same crystal I used on the map. And it's your standard like crystal girl thing that's on a little necklace, whatever. We dip it in and we draw on everybody's heads. For my nerds out there, it's basically like a horde symbol. Like that's the kind of symbol we're putting on everybody's heads.
I'll put it in the chat.
She cuts her hand and uses that blood, basically puts a bloody handprint on the table and then pulls on the magic to follow what was on this, like the pull of the hair and whatnot from that symbol.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah. So, can everyone see the little background screen now? The background
Yes,
image,
sir.
not a black screen anymore.
Yeah, the tower.
Yeah. So you do this and you open up the way to the ghost field. And you can, and as you walk in, the crew is with you, almost kind of like tethered. Like there's that almost like this magical tether, kind of keeping you guys bound to Yuna as you move forward. And you step through into the ghost field, and it's your same hideout, but it's like it's non-Euclidean. It's completely insane. Like you walk through the door and you see stairs that go up and then across and then down, and so you follow the stairs around and you end up in another landing upside down, moving through a separate hallway that goes into 6 separate directions, but you're all still following the same direction. And then you open up a separate door and you end up walking into what looks like just like a bathroom, effectively. And you pop out of the ghost field, basically. And you hear just a dude just unloading in the toilet.
Are we like in the stall with him, or are we in the bathroom?
You're in the
so
bathroom.
potentially we could sneak out and him not be the wiser.
Unloading.
So it is a mixed result. So what happens is he's in there, he's just going like, oh, I hate this.
I think he made most spit up. Spit
That
take.
was funny.
And like as soon as you guys step through the ghost field and it kind of closes behind you, Yuna finishes her channeling. The door opens, and one of another worker comes in and says, Jai Huang, you all right, man? And he just kind of looks and says, he just goes, this is who are you?
Punch him right in the face.
Hard and fast, brother. Yeah, I don't think we have much time to fucking try to explain that. Nope, but
No, just grab him, pull him in, and just give him the two-step.
Okay. What action are you using for that?
fucking skirmish,
yeah,
dog.
No,
Pow,
for
pow.
me, I was gonna do like finesse because I imagine it's like judo. Like I grab him and drop him using a technique, and then like Banshee could give him the that final hit and then put him down or something. Or just Banshee could do it.
I think it's the same either way.
Who's rolling?
You
Roll it,
feeling
Banshee.
hot? You want me to roll it?
I want you to roll it. I got the 5 to get us.
I'm feeding my cat real quick. But this would be a risky standard.
Would anybody like to assist me?
I will assist you. I'm gonna give you some love, bro.
All right.
He's gonna hold him up in the headlock like this, with his arms behind his head, while you.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Sneak around and be like, simmer down. You plotting
All
on me,
right.
boy?
Let's knock this motherfucker out. We did it partially.
Partial success. Hold on 1 second, y'all.
The other guy comes out of the stall.
I don't know if he's ready to come out, bro.
Pants halfway down, like, what's going on?
He passes out to bring it full circle from last week.
All right. Hold on 1 second. Oh, shoot. Here.
Partial
All right, don't eat.
success. The smell of the other guy is over.
Kitties, man, they gonna do what they want.
Lips as your nose crits.
All right. So yeah. So Banshee, are you just like grab this dude, knocking him out?
Literally, like, I think Banshee would run to him, tell Yuki to fucking close the door, and just like throw him into the fucking wall to try to bang his head against it.
Okay. So I'll do here is I'm gonna start a clock. Let's see, what do we want to call this?
Headbusters.
Get quiet or get loud.
Yeah.
Crew is actually like crew is spy or alarm raised. That's what I'll do. Yeah. So make an alarm raised clock. I'm gonna do 6.
Do they have uniforms?
I'll do a fortune roll and see if they have that.
Cool.
Where? Oh, there we go. Can y'all see the alarm raised clock?
No, sir.
See nothing.
See nothing.
There it
Boom.
is.
Hey, alarm raised. So yeah, consequence. That's gonna fill in one pie. But yeah, you jam this dude up. He's just knocked out cold. As soon as his head hits that wall, he's out. But the dude shitting his britches in the toilet definitely hears it.
Yeah.
He's like, who's out there?
Oh.
Oh God.
Who's out there?
Silence.
Yeah.
Finish what you are doing.
When
Jeez. Professionalism.
I guess Banshee would be like,
Yuki, did you see anybody else at the door?
Did I see anybody else at the door before closing it?
Not before closing it, but you I don't know that you would have had enough
Probably.
time to really do a full
yeah,
scout
he didn't poke his head out the door and look around. Just like, is there anyone? Because Banshee's thinking, do we need to fucking pop one of these silent pots that Yuki's got?
Oh, yeah, that's
or
fair.
just,
but like, I mean,
run in the stall and knock homie out.
Like, no one like within immediate visual range was there.
Can I do a quick pop out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just boop boop, and then be like,
I do think that would take an action roll though.
You think so?
Because there are potentially people walking through.
No, 100%.
A little bit of a risky move.
I guess to be as stealthy as possible, I would probably do that with Prowl.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's a risky move. Because it's a little weird to look around out the bathroom stall like that.
Ooh, you know what I could do?
What's up?
Is it pretty well lit?
Yeah.
It's pretty well lit. Oh boy. Like, part of me wants to use this. Actually, I'm not gonna worry about it.
That's kind of the thing, is like, I don't think we should burn too much
I'm not burning
assets
anything.
while we're.
I'm just gonna do a quick look. So risky standard.
Mhm.
All right. Success.
Ooh. Yeah, you kind of are able to kind of do a quick pop out, not catch any attention. You see, there are kind of 2 sets of Black Hat patrols. One is kind of moving down the corridor away, and another is just kind of turned into the corridor, walking towards you guys.
like kind of whispering that, or not even whispering, just pointing, like two, and then two. Because I don't want the guy that's taking a massive doo-doo to hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do a fortune roll to see if they've got uniforms.
They gotta take a
on them.
piss. Oh.
No, just to see if they have uniforms on them. So I'm doing 2d6,
Cool.
and see what we got. So a 2, a 3, and a 2. So they do have uniforms on them, but they are, what do you call them, like sigil coded, effectively.
So he has to be in a certain area to have this uniform.
They're like coded to him. Like
Yeah.
Oh.
if you take it off, the alarm will ring.
Oh God. Okay. Drag him into one of the other stalls.
We gotta take out Poopy Boy.
No, that's fine. I just want him. You come on, man. We gotta be sneaky about it. Drag him into the stall, drop his jaws, make him look like he's dropping his own deuce, and then like open up the stall to the other one slowly and be like, "It's gotta happen."
He's having a really bad day.
It's had a rough go, dude.
Can we, for storyline purposes, can we hit him in the gut to knock him out and knock the rest of the shit out of him and help him out?
To help him out.
We're not
Banshee.
completely evil
What?
people.
Finish him up, man.
Well, I do it.
So
It's
this
disgusting.
this isn't a roll to like see if you can hit the guy or whatever. Like obviously you guys can do that. This is kind of to see how much do you expose yourself in doing this. Like does he make a lot of noise?
Right.
Does it like attract attention? So what would you roll for that?
I mean, if I'm doing it, I'm gonna roll finesse, and I'm just gonna try to, give him that right in the sternum hit. Oop.
They're a good gut punch.
Right.
Give him.
Yeah, I mean
Shoots.
that is a controlled. I'd say control. Oh no, it is risky because he could make noise. Yeah, risky standard.
If you particularly use I guess I found out like if you can use like a find weapon or a high quality weapon, like maybe like brass knuckles, to make it even better, you can increase the effect.
Right.
So if you have like an unusual weapon that's meant for this to be quiet and to drop people like that, but that's if you want to burn a loadout. It's up to you.
I mean, he's only got 3 points.
That's true. That's You're muted. Yeah, I can't. Oh, I couldn't hear you.
Can anyone hear me?
No, we
Yeah.
can't.
Now,
Yeah.
Or just roll finesse, big dog.
I think this sort of combat, I think would be prowl instead of finesse. For the sure you can use any action, but like the effect, because like prowl, say it's
the idea
ambush
is
with
that
close
he's using-
violence.
I think
He's
either
trying
or
to be
would-
specific with his technique.
I
You
think
hit
either or,
like
it would still
if
be,
you've ever been hit in the sternum, you don't make noise.
I mean, sure. Just from reading finesse, none of it is combat shit. It's like sleight of hand, handle a vehicle or a mount.
Fine.
But
Vulcan
and that's the reason why I was having the conversation earlier with D. Like we get like the in general rules is written, but for fiction wise, you're finessing, you're doing a technique kind of thing. It makes the most sense.
Well, like in regards to like the magic question, that was like, sort of again, it's tough because there are certain things that would apply.
Right.
Like I think, because I guess you could argue what was prowl. ambush with close violence.
Yeah.
I think you would argue
Backstab,
that's-
throat cutting, blackjack. Like, we're sort of essentially blackjacking this guy.
Is that what that means? Blackjacking?
Like, blackjack is like a little thing you knock him in the head to knock him out with.
Yo, I've never known that.
Mhm.
I thought it was billy clubbing.
But
I think that's kind of the same thing.
I think in this case, though, either or is fine. You can play fast and loose with it. I think it's going to be risky standard no matter what, to be honest.
He rolled a success, so.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Success.
Yeah, you hit this poor man in the stomach. He unloads some more and
sound
passes
like?
out.
Yeah.
What's it sound like?
What's it sound like?
He just goes, and then just slumps
Oh
over.
man.
We're so weird.
It is very stinky.
I'm gonna say that the smell of the last release is what actually knocked him out.
And then close the door.
But yeah, you have subdued both of the guys in here. But there is a patrol moving towards you guys, at least in the hallway. What do you do?
I mean, it's not 100% that like they're coming into the bathroom.
Not necessarily, but from what Yuki told you, like
100%,
like,
they're at least coming to pass the bathroom, if not come in. Not saying they will or will not, but Banshee would be under the assumption they're likely not.
Sure, but there's also the what I wanted to finish up with was that it's a fair assumption that those are rotating patrols, like they are basically covering. So
Right.
it's a fair assumption that there is always going to be a patrol in that.
100%. Once we leave the bathroom, we will have to deal with that patrol somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
What I was thinking is we could kind of like lure them in, make some noise, unusual noise for them to have to come check out.
Mhm.
But nothing crazy enough that they would like sound the alarm or radio in to get back up, and then once they're in here, we try to put them with the sleeping shitters.
Sure.
My thought too is like, before we try to lure them in, see what we have on these bodies. Like, we understand that if we take off, I don't know if these two had uniforms or not. I know you said the guards did, but like potentially these dudes have some sort of identification on them, something we could figure out.
No, I'm sorry. The uniforms were in reference to these guys. Like they
to
have,
these
like,
guys, not just the guards, also
Not
these
just the
guys.
guards. Yeah, they have the like workers' uniforms on, but they
Sure.
are also kind of sigil coded.
Can
Okay.
we magic hack them?
Can you magic hack them?
Yeah.
Sure. But we can see what that even does.
Because you said sigil, so I'm assuming that's magically bound, right?
Like
so,
spoof
or
a
is it-
sigil.
Yeah, like spoof a sigil to put it on one of us, and then we can do
Now,
CJ's plan and be like, "Oh, officer, can you come and help us real quick?" or something inside the bathroom.
Now that would have
It's
a-
not just like a video game where we can time it and leave and like
Yeah, we can do
walk
that.
away.
Well, that's like a prowl, yeah. It could be like a group action prowl for all of us to sneak out of there without being seen.
yeah, you could totally
do a
do that.
teamwork
to try and
action.
time it.
Yeah.
But with the sigil thing, it would require that you have sigil, like a sigil implant.
Banshee has one, so I know
Banshee
I have
has
one, but I don't know about the
think
others.
I did.
Nah.
I mean, for me, it's like, sure, we may not be able to use their uniforms, but they may have identification where we could figure out something, or they've got, I don't fucking know, maybe some idiot has a map on their fucking, like, they could have some sort of information or tool or something that could potentially get us access to something else on the compound.
I'll give you another fortune roll here. We'll do 2d6. And we'll
I definitely like that, and I do like Maggie's idea too. If we can time it and then just do like a group prowl.
so this is to see if they have. This is to see if they have any
Something useful.
ID. This is
Yeah.
to see if they have any ID on.
Okay. What do we got?
4 and 5. Yeah. So they've got. So what they have some identification. It is. It's not sigil coded, but it's only they only have certain access to certain floors. So
Okay.
Useful.
So you will be able to be on certain floors, but it is also ID. Like in
Is
terms
there
of like their faces on there.
could we potentially learn through their uniform if that's also a form of identification, whereas that uniform by some sensor allows them to breach something else, you know?
Can you say that again?
So like potentially their uniform is a key to get to some sort of restricted access area. Could we learn that?
I think you could reasonably assume that that's the case.
Like they have brown uniforms to keep them in within brown areas.
Yeah, I guess could we try to decipher what area they might be able to access?
With that, you would have to leave the room.
Okay.
You would have to leave the bathroom. You would not be able to figure that out from here.
Okay. My sigil can reach Etsu, right?
Potentially.
Could my sigil reach an unknown contact that I could say, I've got whatever sigil, like whatever you call this uniform thing, right? Like this is sort of, I would assume a known thing. It would have some sort of name. I could potentially send out this piece of information to a contact that could run it and tell me through my sigil where they have access. Hacker person on the outside.
I think you could contact Etsu using a flashback and setting this up.
Okay.
If that makes some
that
sense.
I would be able to like, well, because like she wouldn't have the, or would she maybe have the information at the point where like, yeah, if you get a serial number from here to here, it's this. Like, I guess like, would she do the search before or right now is I guess my question.
We can kind of set up the fiction there. So potentially, you know, she says like, well, hey, once you get in to the place, if you're able to at least get such and such uniform or an ID badge, just like send me that info and I can at least get you an approximation of where you're going to be able to access. She's like, but you got to actually get into the compound first. She's like, I can't get any info if you're not in there.
We got it.
Okay.
I think if you wanted to do that, I think that would be I think that would cost I think that would just cost a stress to do. Just one stress.
I mean, I would be down to do that just because it's like it's it may not be the thing that we go with, but it's a potential option for us to use, you know, to do this.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. So yeah, you kind of set this up with Etsu beforehand, and so she's kind of waiting for your signal. And so yeah, what do you do? How do you contact her through sigil, or what do you say? I mean,
yeah. So I guess I would I don't know how you activate sigil. Fucking, you know, the whole fingers to the ear, fucking classic.
Sure.
Sigil activated.
That's you live.
And it takes a couple of seconds, and it comes in a little garbled, like reading you.
All right, I've got the serial number.
And she kind of says, "Hit me." You rattle it off. You hear her kind of typing away. Excuse me. She's like, all right. Like, all right, these guys are pretty low level. You're not going to get above the fourth floor with these guys. Pretty limited access. They're looks like they're just like they're maintenance workers, but they're not high level guys. They only got a little bit of access. 1 through 4 is all you got.
Copy that.
And then Etsu didn't have like, she didn't know homie was on fucking floor 8 or something, right? That was not something that she had privy to.
No, she was not able to. That's why she has hired you guys to go in and basically figure it out.
Hey, ask you a quick question. Do you have any idea what the guards might have access to? Potentially, probably higher than mechanics.
Does she? Can you ask that again?
Yeah, so Banshee's asking Etsu if she would know if, like, the patrolling guardsmen would have higher access than a mechanic, basically.
Would she know that? Yeah, she says, well, probably going to depend on the rank, if I had to hazard a guess. Depending on these this is probably a dormitory would be my guess, with the high level guys up top. So higher ranking dudes probably going to be the only ones that are allowed to go any higher, would be my guess. But
Yeah, I'm assuming it's not worth it was to go to tango with patrolling guardsmen over nothing.
well, they might at least have access to a higher floor, but how much higher I couldn't tell you.
Fair enough. Alright. Banshee out.
She cuts calm.
Guys, I'm not sure using any uniforms for access is really that handy. We could get from levels 1 to 4, and that would only be me unless any of the other ones have sigils that I don't know that's installed.
Best thing to do now is to stay quiet. Stay in the shadows.
We'll have to gain access to some higher level, or I mean, first things first, we have to figure out where the fuck our guy is.
We might need to find a security station. See if we can. Would there be cameras?
There are. They're like kind of like those. Remember in Baldur's Gate 3, the little scrying guys.
Yeah.
It's like little tiny versions of those, just kind of like floating above on the ceilings. There's also.
Is there one in here?
There's nothing in here. There's also these little guys. Let's see if I can show it.
It's like the idea is to oh
Damn.
And those are like you see those will when you were kind of scouting out, these things can kind of crawl up walls, and they'll kind of be observing in separate areas, like that as well.
Like size preference? Are these like big as dogs, volleyball?
They range in size. This is kind of like the average like spider hole is like dog sized,
Okay.
but sometimes they're pretty tiny, and then like larger ones like the largest you would get is like maybe one about the size of a horse.
Oh, buddy. Probably each equipped with like a different type of weapon.
Oh yeah, no, they're very fun.
Yeah. All right. I say we
Sick.
start with Maggie's stuff. Time it, move.
Okay. So try to time the patrol and move between them as they are moving.
Yeah, and then I do want, if we can, if everybody's cool with it, is to find like that security area, to potentially use it to. I bet they have ways of like monitoring people based off of their sigil and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption. So are you going to lead a group action with this, or is everyone just going to do their own way of?
So
trying to
leading the
run through
group
this?
action means whoever is leading it gets a stress for each failure. Is that right?
For each one to three, yeah.
three. Yeah.
And everyone has to roll. If in this instance, if you're rolling prowl, everyone would have to roll prowl.
Right.
Yeah.
What's everyone's stress situation? Or I guess like who would want to lead this basically? Because the leader doesn't even have to be good at it, right? It's just whoever wants to basically take on The stress.
Basically, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Little J should take out on as leader because I know he ain't got stress.
Yeah, I mean, all
he's
you want
not.
is whoever rolls the best result is what you take. So, Lil J, you could lead the group. Pass these patrols. It makes sense as well. You know, you're a former Black Cap. You understand their patrols and how they operate. So I think that fictionally makes sense for sure if you want to do that.
You good with that? Hell yeah.
Yeah. So everyone, go ahead and roll that. I'm assuming prowl. If that's what you're rolling.
Can I change this to desperate? To switch positions, I guess.
I think
for a better effect, I guess is what I want.
I think only the one leading the group can do it. I believe.
Oh, okay.
We're doing risky stuff.
I guess this is the only one where we could push ourselves for, right?
Yuna.
Yeah. So I think you can push yourself for sure. But yeah, before y'all roll, I didn't set the deal.
Oh, well, good. Just ignore that.
Yeah, that's why I was asking questions now.
Yeah. No, we're taking those.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is what it is. It's not gonna change my shit.
So
I can roll this game and it's a failure.
What is this?
So yeah, I think this is very risky for sure. Not in a desperate position. Would it be limited? I think so. I think because the timing of the patrols is pretty tight right now.
Right.
It is very limited. So we've got a partial success.
Dang, and I wish I could change the effect. That's tough. All right. So risky limited.
Risky limited.
Oh, I can change the effect if I have something specific, and guess what that is? I'm gonna look at my stuff. Hold on. All right, two things could happen. I could either drop the silence bomb to help in this moment, so that they don't really hear us move behind them and stay behind them until we get out of a particular area. Could that make sense?
Sure.
This? Hell yeah, that's what I want to do. So I'm gonna burn one of mine, if I can find it.
And this will be the last thing we resolve before ending for the night.
Copy that. So this would change it from limited to standard, correct?
Yeah. Can you drop the
Sure can.
the description for me, just so I can see what it's doing? So a vial that negates all sound within 10 paces of the drinker for a span of several moments. So I don't know that would change effect, but it certainly will help the fiction. You know.
Okay.
You know, I think it's still limited in terms of how consequences will affect you guys, but it'll certainly help no matter what.
All right. You're welcome.
Lil J took three stress there.
Yeah.
So we have partial success. All right.
Did Banshee not roll?
I rolled first.
Yeah, she goes first.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the highest
I
one
got a
partial for everyone. So let's see.
I got a 5.
Oh, it's
Same thing.
The name that got me. I'm thinking I'm looking for Banshee.
That's my real name that you don't know.
I know.
Ignore that name.
Get that name. Erase that name. I'm changing it on my sheet.
All right, so consequence there. It will fill in a tick on the clock on the alarm raised. And so yeah, you guys are able to move out. You know, Yuki, deploy that silence bomb, or that silence potion vial, and you are able to successfully kind of maneuver yourself between these patrols, but you do hear as you kind of like skirt out of view of the patrol kind of coming behind you. You hear one of the black caps go, "What's this?" They pick up the vial and say, "Hey, call us in. What is this?" They're like, "Yeah, I don't know." They say, "Hey, dispatch, got blah 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 here in section H. Not sure what it is. Gonna bring it to you." And with that,
Well, we know we're in section H.
I was like, we learned something.
with that, we will roll credits on this episode.
Sick.
Copy. Cool beans.
Nicely done, scoundrels. Nicely done.
No,
I don't know about all that, but
I think y'all did great.
So real quick, in game, not real life, but in game, how much stress do I have? Because I know how much stress I have right now in real life.
In game, you have 3.
3.
Mm-hmm.
could have been worse.
I
Could have been
I think
worse.
For that teleporting in plan, that could have gone a lot worse.
100%.
That was a sick plan. I really like that.
You definitely have to watch back so I can hear exactly how it went down.
Yeah, it was very cool. You guys have you're living that scoundrel life. It's not always going to go according to plan, but you're
No, I
pushing through
mean,
it.
to
Pushing
be
through it, for
honest,
sure.
we got in pretty fucking nice.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are still keeping it quiet.
Yeah.
You guys are still
Now,
keeping
what
it
we
quiet.
do when we're in here, who the fuck knows? We are in the danger zone.
y'all are in the lion's den. So
Yeah.
But you're handling it pretty well so far. So excited to see how you guys push through in the next
tight,
episode.
baby.
Tight.
GG's, y'all.
Yeah.
GG's.
Good job, y'all.